Welcome. If you're returning to our service, welcome back. Hey, Blas, welcome back. Hey, Jay, welcome. Ian. Hey, Ian, you're ENAR now? I thought it was ENAN. Did you change on me? Just want to make sure you're the same person. You can be new. It was just a coincidence. Jay, let me know how you're doing. Need to hear from you. Let us know what you're trading. Mark L. Saul will be joining us shortly. When he comes in, he's going to give out this morning's zones or levels. These are areas that he's looking at for this morning's trade. This is a roadmap, a discipline to trading the S&P 500 E-mini. We're looking to do as few trades as possible to bank our money for the day. If you're coming in from the outside, join us on the inside. Look for the link for Zoom. We start here around 9 a.m. every trading day. Right now it's 9:17 a.m. on Friday, February 19th, 2021. Everything we do here is for educational purposes only. Nothing is to be taken as direct trading advice. Yeah, no problem. Which is why I just haven't seen you. So I was concerned. Just want to make sure you're okay and you're getting what you need. Hey, Frank, good morning. Hey, David L., let me know what you're doing. I know you've been in the past. Hey, Maureen, good morning. Now, Paul, if you need any suggestions or recommendations or input or insight on a trading platform, let us know. Yeah, can you believe it's Friday already? And I can't believe we're almost halfway through the month. Well, we are halfway through the month, a little bit beyond in February. So a lot of what happens in trading, and this is for experienced traders and new traders, is that you get caught up in the fluff and the machinations of trading software, and you start to believe that you need those tools, or you need better tools, or you need more complex tools, you need fancier charts, you need more information on your charts. I think if I detailed it, I would say that you just need a platform, similar charts to what Sol has. You need to have fast service. In other words, when you click something, it works. When you're trying to get a price, you got a good shot at getting it. You also want to be able to get your broker on the phone if you need them. I think that's really key, because if you can't and you're caught in a trade, that's tough beans. Not good for anybody. And I also think you need a good news service that you're supposed to not be involved when economic numbers are coming out or something that is scheduled, but you also want to be sort of tuned into what's happening based on the market and any news that is moving the market. And there are news places where you can get some quick news. Not big fans of CNBC or any of these programs which are just sales pitches and lagging stuff. But that's just my opinion. So Jay, let me know if you're tuned in. When you come in with just a letter, and I'm not sure who it is, so just let me know. Hey, James, welcome. James R. And Paul, I think I sent you the information to be able to stick around. Let me see if I got it for you here. I'll send it out to you now. I think I did, but I have to scroll back too far. That's out to you now. So we're here every trading day. Our mission is to make a buck today based on scalping the S&P 500 E-mini in an orderly fashion. In other words, a trading technique, a price action trading technique. It starts out with a series of levels. So let me introduce you to the host before he stops in. When he stops in, you're going to hear his voice. I'll fade off into the background. Sal Shaul is a CME Group floor member. He's been trading for 25 years. He's currently actively scalping the market for his own account. He's also providing a service, which is access to him. Now, the access to him was his private booth overlooking the pits on the CME Group trading floor in Chicago, which because of the pandemic has been shuttered and the doors nailed shut. So he doesn't have access to his booth. So he's doing this from his, I call it his bunker, his trade cave, if you will, but he doesn't like me to call it a trade cave. So anyway, so he has his setup there. He is still trading. He is still active. He's still at risk based on his price action trading strategy. So during the morning sessions, he is here. Now I'm saying between 9:30 bell till about 12 noon Eastern time. Right now it's 9:23 a.m. on Friday, February 19th, 2021. And again, everything we do here is for educational purposes only. Nothing is to be taken as direct trading advice. Your trading is done between you and your broker. So trading is not complicated. Trading, the act of trading and the act of making money based on price action is very uncomplicated. The concept of trading software and all the bells and whistles and the upsells and all the add-ons is very complicated. People come in, they ask about Japanese candles, they ask about market profile, they ask about all this stuff. And it's all interesting stuff to learn. How it helps you make a buck, I don't know. It seems to be a big distraction away from where I see the rubber meets the road at the price action level of the trade. So think about that for a second. If you can come to your screens in the morning, have simplified charts like Sol is showcasing here. He's got 2 time frames for the S&P 500 E-mini and a 30-year bond chart. He's got a 5-minute ES chart and a 1-hour ES chart. And he's got a 5-minute ZB chart, which is the 30-year bond chart. Now, 30-year bond has been moving. They say that it's going to be impacting the market, or it could be impacting the market. It was asleep for a while. It seems to be waking up. That's good for us because there is sometimes, and I say sometimes, a contrary relationship between the price movement in the bonds and the price movement in stocks, thereby the S&P 500 E-mini index. So that's what we're focusing on, but we also look for telltales based on keeping us in trades for longer so that we can maximize the 2-point plus opportunity in the trades. So the way Saul sets himself up, and this is the TikTok, is that he's going to come in right around now. He's going to go to his screens. He's going to set today's levels for his own trading. This is part of the price action trading strategy, having levels that you can focus on when the price gets to those levels. So think about that for a second. He's giving you levels right around the cash open that you can look at and look to trade around if appropriate at that time, right? And there's some factors here that you have to pay attention to, so that you have a roadmap for this morning's trade. And that roadmap are the key areas that you can now put trades on and take them off and bank your money for the day. Now, Sol has a 2-point stop generally, and that expands based on price movement and price action.
All right. Good morning, everyone. Can everybody hear me all right? All right. Fantastic. All right. Let's give you our levels here for Friday, February 19th, as the days go quickly by, right? Quickly by. All right. Pivot this morning is 29, 26, 29, 20, 39, sorry, 39, 26. Resistance above at 31, 36, 44, 52, 58. Support at 16, 10, 03, 38.97, and 38.89. Pivot 26, support 16, 10, 03, 38.97, and 89. Resistance on the upside at 31, 20, 36, 44, 52, and 58. All right. Welcome to some of the new folks that are here. We are trading mini S&Ps here. We give you our levels here as a guide for the day. Nothing's etched in stone. These things could be adjusted based on price action, on volatility. We look for about 2 to 3 points in our trades. We don't feel the markets go straight up or straight down. Consequently, we're trying to find those inflection points that give us an opportunity to scalp the market. Like I said, 2 to 3 ticks is what we're trying to accomplish here on a normal, quote unquote, normal day, whatever that may be. But that's all dependent on volatility on any given day. We have to take each day as it comes and see what the day brings. We never know when we're going to get busy. All we can do is adjust our entry points and our setups based on the volatility day to day, trade to trade. Like I said, these levels are just guidelines for the day, and they could be adjusted. Price action opportunities could be adjusted, and anything that we talk about here always has to. You have to keep in mind that we keep our stops in, and then that way we limit our losses and try to maximize our profits by being able to maybe have an opportunity to take more than 2 or 3 points on our trades, depending on how many contracts you trade and how you enter them and how you get out of them, so on and so forth. Okay, we open up here. If you look at the chat box area, for those of you who maybe have come a little bit late, the chat box area has our levels printed on there. That way you can see them visually versus if you didn't write them down. So if you look at the chat box area, that's where you'll find our levels. If they're not there, let me know. If you have any questions, put them in the chat box area. I can see that quicker than if you have to raise your hand or put them in the Q&A section. I got the chat box area up and the window up, and that'll be the thing that I can quickly get to and see your questions quicker. So, all right, we're just open up here. We've got support down at the 16 area. Market nicely coming back here a little bit overnight. They were trading a lot lower. Recovered a lot of their move to the downside. Yesterday, a little profit taken, I think I would say. And then they came back yesterday afternoon and then just kind of hovering up here. again, we talked about the inflation being a issue with the bond market and how they react to inflation numbers. The the concern, is out there. We'll see how that plays itself out over coming months, and that'll be the focus, I guess. Like I said, every time the market needs to look at something to focus in on to trade off of. It does find something to trade off of. And we obviously were trading off of COVID and the stimulus and the election. It used to be oil, used to be the dollar, used to be Japanese yen, used to be, it could be a million reasons why the market gravitates to an issue and starts trading around that issue, but that's okay. It doesn't really matter. It looks like over the next couple months or a few months, they're going to be talking about inflation here and bond prices here as a catalyst for either rallies or breaks in the market. Which again, we welcome that because we like the volatility. We traders, as an individual trader, you do like volatility that comes into the market. That keeps you entertained, keeps you busy during the course of a day. When the markets are flatlining and there's not much going on, it's very difficult, one, to make money. Two, it's also very difficult to try to stay out of trouble, right? That's the biggest problem when markets get slow and they don't move. You feel like you have to do something or trade, and that gets you in trouble more than anything else. We have a 9 o'clock number, existing home sales, that's going to be released here at 9 o'clock. So if we're going to be obviously we're going to be trading around it, or maybe we don't like to have positions on when numbers are released. So consequently, we like to kind of stay flat. We are that'll be coming out at the top of the hour here. Oh, they fixed our clock here finally. Oh, good. All right. Anyway, I digress. So 9 o'clock existing home sales could be a little bit of a market mover. I don't know. Then there is at 10 o'clock, the Fed speak is going to be talking. You never know if there's some movement around then. At least you'll be aware that somebody will be talking at 10 o'clock. All right. Let's see. The stock market record highs seem to have fizzled in recent days, with the S&P falling for the third straight day on Thursday. Fears of inflation may be at work amid concerns that if the stimulus being pumped into the financial system works, people start spending money and shopping. Ooh, that could begin pushing up prices. That may be risky for stock investors as money flows back into rising yield bond market. Let's not get crazy with the rising yield bond. There's still 10-year bond is still at 1.3. But anyway, they are concerned about that because it hasn't been this kind of high for a while. In fact, a sizable sell-off has been seen in U.S. government bond over the past 6 weeks, with the yield on a 10-year Treasury note climbing from 1% in early January to 1.3% this week. So that's where we're at with the yields. 30 basis points, but bigger, 30%, right, of a move. That's a pretty big move for 1 week. I know it doesn't, it is what it is. We think it's very important to have a big stimulus package that addresses the pain this has caused. 15 million Americans behind on their rent, 25 million adults and 12 million children who don't have enough to eat, small businesses failing. Treasury Secretary Yellen told CNBC, I think that the prices of doing too little is much higher than the price of doing something big. We think that the benefits will far outweigh the cost in the long run. All right, market swiftly coming down here to, we have support here at 16, inching its way down here. See what it wants to do. Got down here to 17 and a quarter, but we're still on the same bar, so we'll see what happens. Asked whether the surge in federal spending could prompt a sustained rise in inflation, Yellen responded that it was a risk, added, but inflation has been very low for many years, and the Fed could always mitigate that risk by raising rates. According to the Speaker Pelosi, the House aims to pass an $1.9 trillion coronavirus relief plan before the end of February to beat a deadline on extending unemployment programs. The U.S. stock futures index is up. They always stocks like that, even though they complain about it or they're worried about it. As we floated down here to our 16 area, trying to see if we can get a little bit of rotation here off of it, and we got a nice little quick 2 points here. I think we got filled. I think we all should have got filled down there. I'm not seeing any levels in the chat. Okay, we can reprint the levels in the chat. There they are. All right, good. So did I. I just want to make sure that you all got it because it just touched it, but we should have got filled down there. Hopefully you all did. Again, we scale into our levels, right? 16, some get in at 17, and then 16, and then 15. Some get in at 16 and a half, 15 and a half. There's different ways of scaling in. We're not going to be perfect, right? But we did get down to the 16 area. I always say area because it's, that's how it works around here. We're not going to be perfect, but we did get down to our level down there, and it did get triggered. If you got in at 16 and a half or 16, you should have gotten filled. Well, 17 for sure, not 16. Because a couple of us got filled down there at 16 and a half, and a nice little rotation here off of that entry point. Some did, some didn't. That sucks. I got 3, 4 people that says they got filled, and 2 did say they didn't. So unfortunately, it's all right. Stay focused. There's always another trade. No worries. We talk about this in our course about getting in early, putting in your levels. If you wait till the market gets down there and you decide to, my orders were already in the market already, so I'm just kind of waiting for them to get filled, market orders, and you have to have them in the queue. Basically, is what I'm saying, so that you could, if you try to put it in after the market get down there, it's kind of it's not going to happen, because especially in a situation like this where it just nipped it and popped back up. Can we repeat the levels again in the chat? There they are. Market if touched. Yeah, that would be nice, right? To get filled if it just nipped it by just one lot traded. There's a lot of those computer programs out there that want to trigger stops. So they have, every time it goes up to a new high or a new low, it puts out a high ball, they call it, or a low ball, which is basically you get a print of the next price above or below, like the bid or the offer, especially a new bid or offer. So you just try to trigger the stops, because the stops are not supposed to get filled until the price gets printed, right? I mean, when you were standing in a pit, if you had a stop at, let's say, 20, the broker had a stop at 20. If it traded 1975, the broker is not allowed to say 20 bid for whatever to try to buy him. He has to wait till there's a 20 print on the screen, and then he goes and buys them. So there was always these guys in there that always were trying to initiate the stops to get triggered. So they would put a high ball, they call it a high ball or low ball, out there so that they could get the stops to get triggered. That's probably some programs and that get some of these algos that get programmed in are probably doing the same thing here too. That, you know, if they have a stop at 20, they're not going to try to buy the stop or fill the stop until they oh, that was quick. Until they see that print. Yeah, well, just don't worry about that, HD. Look at the next opportunity. Next is level down below on downside support is the 10 area. Okay. We have 9.5 being our settlement price, as well as our green band in there. Oh, wow, that's interesting. So, see what happens down there. Uh, 9:45 PMI. I think. Let me see. Is that right? Oh yeah. So there's a PMI. There is a small number coming out here at 9:45. You're right.
Hey, quick shot and welcome to Ronald. Hey, Ronald, welcome aboard.
All right. So we got the same. A little small number coming out here at 9 o'clock in about a few seconds here. So be a little bit careful. But we're kind of flat right now anyway. We don't have anything. Oh, you're confusing me. You want 13, now you're talking about 25. You're like on the upside, downside. You're confusing me there, Don. You're all over the place. Both, of course. I should have known better. Yeah, well, it's out. That the number is out already, and you can tell that it didn't really make the market move that much. But the existing home sales might be a little bit of a market mover. All right, now we're drifting back down here again. So we do have a number coming out here at 9 o'clock, existing home sales. Today, option 10. What does that mean? Or option X, I guess I would assume 10. As you can tell, we kind of stay focused on S&Ps here. and their option stuff is great. I think option traders are fantastic. I just wish that they would learn how to trade futures. I think they got a bigger bang for their money. That's my own opinion. You got to invest a lot of money into options because you got to buy them, or you got to, well, if you sell them, you get the money dumped back in your account. But premium, non-premium, butterfly, condor, Excalibur. You always, you have to understand the premium that they kill you on the premium there. I don't know. You know what? I don't. Yeah, I know you could. Like I said, you can have the money. If you sell the options, you get the premium dumped in your account. But then you got open-ended risk on that, baby, right? Talk to GameStop. There used to be guys who Padro, as far as your question about options expiration day, and yes, it could be, but it's if we focus more on the morning hours like we do, then we don't. A lot of volatility comes in as far as the options is expiring happen maybe towards the afternoon, and that's why we kind of stay away from that anyway. So that's our philosophy around here, is kind of stay away from the afternoon stuff as it is, whether it be for options or not, but options expiration or not. So it might be true that it's today's option expiration day. I don't really. Hopefully we're out of here. We don't have to deal with the late afternoon stuff. So there used to be guys in regards to selling options and getting money put in your account. So these guys would trade the option expiration game, right? And they would come and sell all these options like a day or two before they expire, these out of the money options, right? And that's what they would do. So they would have this, they think it's like free money in their account. And so this one guy would be that's what he'd like to do, and he was my friend, and I'd like, oh, I always looked at him and like, oh, that's kind of interesting. You got all this free cash. And he goes, yeah, I mean, it's going to expire in 2 days. We need like an 8-point move in the bond market. If it moves 3 points in a day, it's huge. You're 8 points away. You can sell the premium, sell the options, and and he sell, to make a little bit of money, considering they're trading at 1 or half or whatever it is, you got to sell, a pretty good chunk of those options so that you can make something on it, considering the risk that you're taking. So of course, so that's what he did. I mean, that's basically what he did. And I used to see him every quarter. He would come in there and kind of size up what he wants to do and which ones he wants to sell. And one time, there's always the one time, right? He got a little nervous because it started moving against him, and these things all of a sudden got a little pricey for him, and and you're trading 100 lot or something like that in options. You get a little bit of an incremental move. You're even though you're still far away, and even though they are going to expire in a day, but you never know, right? You just never know what could happen. And, we are always susceptible to any kind of news in the bond market, and for whatever, you get some kind of, at the time, it would move a lot on any geopolitical situation, some bombing here or some terrorist attack there or something like that was more, so there was something that happened and the bonds rallied, and he's like, oh my God. So he comes into the people, what do you think? I'm like, what do you mean? What do I think? He goes, I got this stuff. I go, oh gosh, I felt bad for him because he was all nervous. He was doing this stuff all the time, and he was, kind of happy and getting all this cash in his account, and he's, all of a sudden he comes in there and he's like, there's a big move in the bond market and these things are underwater, and he's like, oh my God, what do I do with this? And he's coming to me for advice. I'm like, hey, nice to see you, first of all, and second of all, I have no idea. But he ended up doing okay with it, but it scared him. I don't think he'd put so many on after that. So yeah, you could sell it, the open-ended risk. Like I said, talk to the GameStop people, see how they're doing with that open-ended risk stuff, especially with options. Man, it can get a little tricky with those options. Those options traders like to mess with those people who like to sell those out of the money options and get that free money in their account. It does happen. And there's also people that do it the other way too, that they're buying that stuff for pennies or dollars, small dollars, and they're hoping that something happens. And if they buy it for a half and they sell it for one, you make 100% of your money. Well, of course you would. See, everybody thinks it's free money. It's until it's not. Until it's not. Everybody wants to sell the premium. I mean, those option guys do inject a lot of premium in some of these options. I mean, the GameStop stuff was crazy. The put options were trading at a remarkable number. If you were following that when it was happening, they were trading a ridiculous number. It was insane. I mean, you weren't going to make any money, even if it came back down. Yeah, I mean, my friend was a little nervous that one time when that happened to him. He came in when he comes in the pit to ask me about what do I think the market's doing. He's really nervous. I'm the market prognosticator, not me. And so when he comes to the pit and says, "Hey, what's going on with these bonds? What's going on?" I'm like, "Well, this is what's happening." He goes, "Well, what do you think's going to happen?" I'm like, "Really? You asking me? Go ask the Goldman desk. See what position they have. You'll be all right with them." That was always my fallback. I go, they come somebody else. I go, "What's Goldman doing? Are they buying or selling?" I go, "Okay, do what they're doing. If you want to know what's going on." Anybody can proudly say they never lost any money in futures for 3-4 years in a row. 3-4 days for 4 years. Not one losing day in futures. Yeah, okay. You don't know anything. You got no inside information. Nope. Yeah, you don't have to ask. If you think the market's going down and it keeps going down, it will keep going down. You don't have to say how far it will go down, because it will go down. You just have to trade it. Get in, get out. If you're wrong, boom, look for the next thing. You just never know. Anyway, like I said, I'm not one here to give you predictions. That's not what we do here. We try not to come in with any bias in this market. We try to stay straightforward, give you good opportunities to trade, and trade them both on the long side and the short side. I think yesterday, if you were with us, we were trading both sides of the market. We were long, we were short. That's what scalpers do. That's what we try to do here on an everyday basis. We're not trying to predict where the market's going. It's not what we do. But we try to scalp the market, try to take opportunities to take advantage of ebbs and flows. That's what we're trying to do here. It's low risky-ish. It's not that high risk, but it keeps you in the game. It keeps you making a little bit of money. And if you add a little bit of money every day, what happens at the end of the week? It's a lot. Well, yeah, I think, but patience is important. That's for sure. So we got triggered down here at 16. Market went down to the 13 area, Don, and then popped back up. We have we have a number coming out here in about 3 minutes. So we'll see what that does. We don't have any position on. Well, I mean, as far as the blue band is concerned, the opportunity to trade there depends on the movement of the market. Do we look at it immediately? Depends on where it opens and how what kind of opportunity the market gives us. There's not. It really all depends on the market. The movement prior and before and after. So, but we needed to. It's better, I think, if the market trends away from it and retracts back to it. If it's on a flat line, like if you get in a late afternoon trade, and if you're watching a late afternoon trade, the blue band kind of gets flatlined a little, and it trades on both sides of it. It becomes almost impossible to get any good opportunities from that. So if you in an afternoon trade, like I said, that's why we don't focus more on that. We focus more on the morning trade. It helps us our all the levels work a little bit better. The trade, the volume is greater and gives you a better opportunity in the morning. And the afternoon trade becomes a little bit more tenuous, a little bit harder to trade. And because the extra, I guess maybe more traders are trading in the morning than they are, so you get different movements. But the blue band there is something to look at, especially if we move away from it a little bit. If we're trading on both sides of it, it becomes basically useless. I mean, I hate to say it that way, but yeah, you have to know when to trade it. Basically, what I'm saying is you have to know when to trade it, right? I think that would be the right thing to tell you. All right, we got a number coming out here momentarily as the market upticks here, coming back up here to our blue band, but it's a little bit, right on the heels of a number. So I don't know if I would trade it right now. You'd be taking a lot of risk if you get in right now, right before this number. And it could be a little market move or it could not be, but it is somewhat could be. It is a good number to look at to make markets move. So we'll see if they do or not as we come up here on it. And it's popping up here a little bit bullish, maybe just a little bit. All right. So we'll see what it wants to do here. So keep that in mind. If we're talking about the bond market and inflation, see the 163 handle in the bond market. We'll see where they're at next week. Maybe they consolidate here, 163, 164. I don't know, but we'll see what it wants to do and see how if that thing starts getting into 150 handle. All right, Don, you're happy, huh? Good job. You did get both. You got a 13 printout, not 13 even, but 13 and change, and you got a 25 printout. So you got them both. And I was making fun of you. How's the weather down? Is it getting better down there? And you guys getting more people getting more electricity? Things calming down there in Texas? It's getting a little warmer. The pipes unfreezing. So you don't. Not only do you have cleanup from your hurricanes that you get, now you have cleanup from the snowstorm or cold weather. It's crazy, right? Your governor getting a little bit of heat. So is your senator. Oh, I just took my kids down there. Okay. I was being a good dad. Okay. That's good. That's good. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, I love the. I wonder how long it took him to come up with that reason. That's a good one. Hmm. You know that Ivy League education goes for something good. That's for sure. I know you love the blue band there, Mark. It is your favorite. You don't care when you take it, you just take it. Like I said, you have to understand the risk. And if you understand the risk, then it's up to you whether to take the trade or not. And like I said it was riskier, right? But some of our traders still took the trade because they took the trade and they knew what their potential loss was if they did put it in because they had their stop in. And if you got a rotation there off of our blue band, then you got a rotation off our blue band. Nice trade, Mark. I guess you're going to the beach again. So, Mark, my California friend, just likes to and remind me of beach and summer and sun while I'm freezing and frozen. And so he used his daughter as a prop yesterday. Sends me a picture of her on the beach playing in the sand and says, "Oh, look how nice it is out here." Really? That's terrible. That is just terrible. You think I wasn't going to call you out on that one? Cute little girl. I should have just focused in on that instead of focusing on your nice little move. I did appreciate it. Yeah, of course she was playing with Play-Doh. What do you think? Play-Doh in the sand. That's what she was doing. Yeah, well, it's true. I mean, there's a lot of industries that are, and why is that happening there, Robert? See, why is the packaging? Can't you get? Well, I know that lumber is at all-time highs. I guess more people are. I don't know. There's certain industries that are getting. There's some scarcity and availability of product, so creating inflation there. But that doesn't sound good. But not all areas. But why is that happening in packaging business? Is there not enough supply, or is there a lack of supply? Or I guess that's the same. Oh, there's no demand. Oh, high demand, and not enough supply. Gotcha. There is a shortage of lumber all across the United States for it's been for a while. I mean, lumber prices are all time highs. If I'm not, if I last I saw it, I think I saw it this week too that they were all time highs. Well, you know, it is what it is. All right. All right. What does that mean? 2 times 12 times 12 is 15. No, it's 30. Okay. Um, does the market like Biden? I really think that it didn't really matter, to be honest with you, who won the election, because uh, because of this, because of the virus. Um, I think that the market was, it had no place to go but up because of the fact that we are going to have this a huge amount of you know stimulus that's coming into the market, not only from fiscal policy that the stimulus is going to provide, but also the Fed is also being very accommodative uh, to uh, to the um, to the situation. So you had two. Yeah, that's true there, HD. I mean, you had to do the blue band, not not the pivot. The pivot would have just been your backup. Anyway, um, anyway, yeah. So I really did. As far as the market was concerned and which way it was going to move, I didn't think it was going to matter. To be honest with you, if there was going to be a Democrat, if Trump won or if Biden won. Yeah, and I told my friend the market's going to be solid here for next year or a year and a half because of all the money that's being thrown into the. And Trump was going to do the same thing. I mean, Trump wanted a $2,000 stimulus payment to people, and he was going to get it if he won. Um, so they're being very accommodative as far as the money is concerned, and that all this money that's being thrown around is creating the inflation, which is what the bond market is waking up to. And so we'll see what that means. So in the long run, at least for next year or so, I don't think it's really going to matter. I think if the market was negative towards Biden, we wouldn't be at all-time highs. So like I said this before the election. It doesn't really matter who won. So, and and we're a 39 handle. So, and we were just a couple days ago at a week ago at 39.60. So, what does shorting naked mean? They asked the question. Well, shorting naked means that you don't have a long position to back up your short. Basically, sometimes it's more if you take if you own a stock, um, basically, and you go short, you sell some calls, out of the money calls, which are called leaps actually. If you sold those leaps without having the stock, then you're selling the market short, or you're selling the stock short, naked, because you don't have. But if you own the stock, let's say you own Apple, it's trading at 130. Let's say you go, and if you go sell the 150 calls, or calls. If you go sell the 150 calls, you get that money, that premium in your account. If without having the stock, then you're selling that, you're shorting it naked because you don't have. But if you own the stock, and if the market goes to 160, you owe $10 on the premium of the option, but you have the stock that you can sell, so you're not selling it short. But selling something naked, is basically not having a backup for it. Don is giving us his market analysis here. We've had 2 hurricanes hit. With this freeze, it'll jump prices of materials 20 to 30% overnight. Go long Home Depot. Well, that's because a lot of these That's because when the GameStop situation is, they just sold it. Yeah, and anybody who, like I said, when it was happening, there was 140% of the total stocks outstanding that was being shorted, right? I mean, there was, let's say, 100 million shares that are out there that you could that was out there and with this stock, and they had 140 million shorts. So something was off, right? Basically, what you're doing is that you can only short a stock, right, if somebody owns a stock, right? So that's the problem. So when you have 140% of the shares outstanding, a lot of people were shorting it naked because you, the brokerage house didn't have the stocks in hand to be able to short it. You're supposed to have somebody has to be long for you to short the market, but if there was not, if the, you know, so a lot of these people just shorted it um, without having the stock. Hi there, Penny. Welcome. Can we have this room here. It's a trading room, and we do use it every morning. And there's a nominal fee here for us to, for people who from the outside to come in and join us. And it's only about 25 bucks a week to 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 join us for whatever rant I'm hearing or you're hearing me talk. So it's only about 100 bucks a month. So it's not. That's what that is. And if you need more information, we can send you out some information. We also have an education course that it's separate from the from this room, which the advice or not advice, but some of the ideas that I give out are taught. They're not just basically just guesses, I guess. Well, yeah, okay. So welcome. Do you trade, Penny? Yeah, Tim, you're right. They should regulate naked shorting, and that's good, very nice, and that's what they should. That's what they should do. You know, but again, that was you get into that same argument about are you going to let people short the stock, right? Absolutely, there, Paul. We'll get you some information right away. If you give me your contact information, and if you just put it in the chat box, only me and Brad can see it, so you don't have to be worried about. If you just give us your telephone number, somebody, Brad, will give you a call, and you can talk to you about it. If you just jot your telephone number down, and anybody that needs any information beyond, the room here, just give us your telephone number, and we'll get somebody will get back to you and talk to you and tell you what's what. And again, nobody else can see the telephone number except us, so no worries. Well, yes, that should be the case. But then you get, but again, Tim, you're going to get that argument that you're going to restrict people from trading, right? It becomes a little bit of a problem. This was the problem with GameStop, was that you had they were shorting 140% of the total shares outstanding. Okay, and maybe it's just the big guys that you have to control. I don't know, but I think that was the biggest problem with this situation here. They got themselves really in deep. So yeah, they should only. But how do you control that? I mean, there's got to be a way to control it, I guess. Only short the number of shares. Is that Central Time, Paul? Eastern, no problem. Hopefully, Brad will see that, and he will obviously give you a call. All right, Dove, you go get your COVID shot. Good job. All right, we again bouncing in a little zone here, kind of bag. This is like what I like to call a no trade zone here because we are stuck in a little bit of a range. Our next support level on the downside is the 10 area. The resistance was there initially there that we talked about. Unfortunately, it came right on the heels of a number, which was our blue band there around 25. But it did again if you understand the risk and you know what could happen if you trade it around a number, then it's up to you whether you decide to take the trade or not. We are everybody's got different risk tolerances around here. Nobody's the same. I'm not going to tell you to take the trade or not. My job is to kind of explain the risk, and it's up to you whether you want to participate in the trade or not. You have to. What I try to make you understand is what could happen and why I wouldn't take it or why you should take it, and then you go from there. And everybody's got different risk tolerances, and I understand that. So when people ask me or suggest to me that they want to know what my track record is, it's very difficult for me to answer that because, like I said, I probably wouldn't have taken that trade around the blue band earlier, but I know a couple of our traders who did. So good for them. They liked it. They took it. All right, there. Good job. But as long as you understand the risk involved with the trade and you know where your exit strategy is, it's up to you whether you decide to take the trade or not. So as long as people understand that, I don't tell people what to do. I just try to help people understand risk. And obviously, our setups are there, and sometimes you have to not take the setup. Sometimes you take the setup. And that's what we're here to try to help you with. And everybody's different. Just remember that. All right, enough with that. That's what I try to do. Well, yeah, I mean, it's like this. I could tell 100 people what the situation what the trade is. I can explain the risk in the trade, and third of you will make money on the trade. Third of you will not make money on the trade. Will scratch a trade, and 30 of you will lose money on the trade. I told you all the same information, but that's what trading is all about. You know, that it's not so much of a rebel traders as it is just people understanding their own risk tolerance and what they're willing to take, and that's a difference in this. It is a zero-sum game at the end, right? But when you're trading, it's not. You're not thinking that way for the most part. I would say that 95%, maybe more, of the trades a day are, then there's open interest. That's always occurs, but for the most part, this is a zero-sum game. But there are institutions who do use it to protect themselves. So it's not necessarily all 100% zero sum, but most of the time. But like I said, everybody's different, and I understand that, and hopefully that's what we try to talk here, and we try to look at the bigger picture, but trade inside the bigger picture. Like we might have a bias, but we try not to come in with a bias because we never know what the markets are going to do. Honestly, if you tell me somebody could tell me that the market's going to be up or is it at, and they're right like 100% of the time, I would share that information with you. I would, because I've never seen anybody to be 100% right about knowing when the market's going to open and close. If you give me tomorrow's paper today one time, I will retire the next day. I would. I will. Yeah, I'll make sure I can trade enough to make sure I can, or at least be off for 6 months. I was going to say a year. Yeah, 6 months. If I knew the high, just one time tomorrow's paper today once, and then that was it. So if I knew if I knew the market was going to go down from the opening or up from the opening, I would have told you, but I don't. I can build a snowman all day. Well, I have enough snow for that. That's for sure. And but I'm glad that you can change my topic. Bouncing off the 16 again. Yeah, it is. It's bouncing off the 16 again. If you did take it, and we're range bound here. So if you understand that we're range bound and you want to trade the range, if you have a reason for buying the 16 because it's our level and it's the bottom end of the range, I get it. Your exit strategy would would now have to be below 12. And anything below 12, you want to be out of any longs if you're going to play the range. All right, so anybody have any questions, please feel free to write them down in the chat box area. I like questions, as you can see, especially keeps me going here. Brad, did you see the message from, I think it was Paul, with his telephone number to call him after 3 your time? All right. So again, we're in a range here. How tight was your stop there, Robert? Well, the blue band's at 23. Yeah, 275. So okay, must have got in a little bit before that. Yeah, just a little bit. I mean, you just maybe got in too early, I guess. Because yeah, I mean, the earliest you should have gotten in was 22, and it never got up to 24. So I don't know. You know, I will tell you that if you use the levels overnight, they do sometimes seem to work, but the far away levels. So that's when I give you these levels, and there are some that are further away. If you're going to trade at night, maybe you take these far away levels. Uh, I would say, but you need to have like probably about a 10-point stop, because to give them some room to breathe a little, especially at night. So it's not something I recommend, because we don't take positions and just kind of you know but you're right. Sometimes if you are going to take these levels that don't seem close, could get triggered overnight, and it could give you a little bit of an opportunity. So nice trade there, Padro. Yeah, I mean that's what you don't have to keep anything close at that point, right? Good. You are. You're not trading in the United States, are you? Oh, oh, you're up late or early, depending on how you look at it. You clearing through Interactive Brokers? I think there's only like two brokerage houses that can trade that futures there in Canada. I don't know why Canadians, they don't they're not taking too kindly to futures trading. You can only even do business with one or two firms there, or one that I know, Interactive Brokers, but they are tough. Tried to get into that market, but I just can't do it. We had a couple brokers here that basically shrugged me off when I said Canada. Yeah, they don't. They're not too kind to futures traders. That's ridiculous. $10,000 margin for each contract you trade. That's insane. I don't know. Let's, but you can't. Whatever. I'm not going to get into that conversation. Just can't deal. It's hard to deal with people. It's hard to get some business up in Canada. That's all I'm trying to say. They're just whatever. I'm glad you're doing it though. Oh yeah, futures are so much easier to trade than options and stuff, but options require some decent amount of work to get to that point. So let me read to you some of this market bigger picture. What this guy is talking about. He says, let's see, regardless of, well, let's see. The equity ascent post-COVID really started once the Fed introduced unlimited to the monetary toolkit. It said unlimited in their statement that they gave out. But it's fiscal action that has helped fuel S&P's 20% rise since the November election and 500 basis point rise year to date. Regardless of the past performance, the past 2 to 4 weeks are showing signs that the market's response is broadening from U.S. equities. Economic data really can't get much better, and now Europe is kicking in, and the reality is that there's still massive pent-up demand as economies reopen socially. Although yields upticked of late, the move until this week was almost entirely focused on a long end through a steepener, while currencies remain fairly contained. Moreover, commodity strength has been isolated to copper and to crude. I'd say lumber too, but who's going there. Looking forward, the risk takers I talked to expect some material portfolio reallocation given the year-to-date move in bonds and stocks. But the surge in economic data amid vaccinations openings would suggest the possibility of a 10% further upside in broader equity indices. 10% broader increase by April's earnings season. So that puts us 4,300. Though copper and crude have material runs, they could see another 10 to 20% rise in the current levels through the year end. 10-year treasuries reached a level that may have triggered some leverage adjustments, but economic data would now suggest that there is much more to price in for fixed income. For now, Powell isn't thinking about thinking about monetary adjustments. At this point, the market will likely tell him when it's time to think about it, and by that time they finally act, we may be well closer to the terminal rate. I don't know where the terminal rate is, but if we're going to pump up inflation runs hot, it must be 200 in the 250 to 300 basis point range. So that's what they're expecting if inflation picks up. This guy thinks that that's where the rates will be with Powell, with the Fed. We'll see. That was a lot of stuff. Not bad to keep your mind open to like what people think. Longer term stuff. I don't know if it's 100% correct, but who knows? It's good to share information. Like I said, I never trade biases. Just have that information, something to look at. Look at the bond market. I've been talking about bond market for a while now, but there's another way of looking at it. We're going to get a heat wave in Chicago Tuesday or Wednesday next week. Is going to roar all the way up to 40 degrees. God knows we need some of the snow to melt. I'll tell you how much. Hey, believe me, 40 degrees after 0 and minus 20 degrees wind chill. I mean, think about it. 20, 25 degree wind chill to 40 degree temps. That's like 60 degrees. That's a heat wave. I mean, This is when you appreciate the sun and 40 degrees. Nah, don't need the suntan lotion. Only for you guys in California. Sorry. Okay, there's the Florida guy telling me it's going to be 80. Gee, thanks a lot. Thanks. Just can't get away from those Florida and California people reminding me of the beach and 80-degree temperatures. I'm sure the Texas people like you too. Thanks for your reminder. All right, let's see. This market wants to try to maybe inch up. I don't know. I got no opinion here. It could really go either way. We could retrace back down lower. We could hold and try to push back up. It's trying to figure it out itself. Like I said, no opinion right now. Hey, it's Friday. We had our first level that got triggered there at the 16. Got a nice rotation off of that. If you're a little aggressive there, maybe you took our blue band a couple times, got that little trade. I mean, basically we're in a 8-point range and maybe you made 5 points on a couple of these trades, maybe 6. So that's not bad in a tight little range. Maybe 3 little different opportunities. I don't know. All depending on how much risk somebody's willing to take, and that is all dependent on individuals here, not what I do, not what somebody else does. It's what you do, and we focus in on that to make sure that we understand that, right? I mean, uh, this game is very tough, and like I always keep telling you, I can never like mimic somebody else. If I can watch somebody trade, I can never do what he does. And I've seen a lot, like I keep telling you, I've seen a lot of great traders, and I watch them trade, and I can honestly tell you, I can never do what some of these guys do. And I am sure some traders cannot do what I do, and I probably can't do what you do. And so, as long as we all get that, we deal with it and try to maximize your profit potential for your risk tolerance. And again, any of this stuff interests you, please feel free to ask any questions. We like questions. Anything that I say is, like I said, a taught experience. We'd like to teach you what we're doing here. The goal of the course is for you to become an independent trader. All right. Well, we got up to just kind of trying to figure out what it wants to do. Maybe it wants to rally. I don't know. I mean, like I said, if you're gonna buy him, I don't know. I don't even. It's a no trade zone. It could really go either way, or we could be stuck here the rest of the day. I wish I could tell you to trade, but there is nothing to do. So you got to be patient. Very important to be patient. Last thing you want to do is overtrade and give those brokerage houses all that extra cash. Hmm.
Hey, a quick shout out and a couple programming notes. For those that are joining us on the outside, join us on the inside. Use the link. You can use www.pitiq.tv. That's PITIQ.tv. And after this little conversation, I'll send out the actual link that you can just directly come into Zoom. For those that are coming in as returns, those that are coming in as guests, and those that are coming in as guests over the last couple days, I'll send out the opportunity to sign up for Sol's monthly. I'll do that now. I'll send it out on an individualized basis so that you have it and you can take your action now while we have a little bit of a break here in the action. Casey, I sent it out to you. Just let me know what you're thinking. David L, let me know. I'm not sure I heard back from you, David. Let me know if you're in earshot. And Casey, I'll look to roll yours over at the same rate, the discounted rate, so that you can keep that that price. David L, I'll do the same for you. Just give me a quick high sign that you're there. Hey, Anupam, welcome. Hey, Anupam, did you get the levels today? And Biger, I think you got the levels. Just let me know back in chat. I can always send them to you, or I can read them off, you know, in the chat. Sometimes when you pop in and you miss the posting, you know, it won't be there. Hello, Mark. Thank you. Perfect. So if anybody needs the levels, they are in. These are the zones and levels that Sol puts together right before the cash open for his own trading. I think that's important for you to know. He had 39.26 was the pivot. He had support at 16, 10, 03, 38.97, and 38.89. Resistance at 31, 36, 44, 52, and 58. Those are the areas that he's looking at based on the opportunity to put on a trade. But as he said earlier, during the morning session, things change and you have to adapt to that change to be able to do it. So I sent it out. So David, you have it. Hey Don, Dean. Hey Dove, is today the day you were making your decision? Just let me know back in chat. Ian, welcome back. Hey Frank, Glenn, AHD, I missed you this morning. Jay, let me know if you're signed up for Sol's monthly or not. I think you might be. I'm just not familiar with the J part. So just let me know back in chat. Hey KG, Kurt, Mark L, Pedro, Pete, AHD, Paul F. Hey Paul, I got some stuff from you about signing up or looking at Sol's trading course, which is great. Did you join the family? Want to make sure that you're doing the stepping stones into what we're doing here. Well, why don't we do that now? I'll send you out the thing. And that way we can get you set off on the right foot. And even if you don't take Sol's trading course, you'll at least get some information that's good for your own trading. And I think you should stick around for a little bit and get yourself set up. Well, we talk about that personally on the phone. So let's say you decide to take the course, we'll credit you back what you paid to join the family against your course fee. We just want to make sure everybody is, it would be unfair to everybody else. And it's nominal anyway, so. Peter O, Robert, A. Roop, Tim M, Timothy V, A. Warren. Hey, Uzi, are you joining the family today? Just let me know back in chat. And Andrea. And Paul, I sent that out to you, right? Good. All right, Jay. Is that J or an I? I think it's a J. Jay, let me know if you're a bot. Let me know if you are real. Let me know if you are part of Sol's monthly and you're part of the family. These are things that inquiring minds need to know. And Paul, let me know when you do that so I can authorize you for the rollover at the 100, which is a great deal. And Uzi, let me know if you're back. Dove, use the chat feature to respond. Casey, let me know. And David L. Thank you. Hey, Casey, I'm sending it in the chat window. The only link that works for the discount is in the chat window, so I'm going to give it to you now. So use this link. Hey, Paul, was Sol able to answer that? Hey, David L, let me know if you're back. Dove, let me know if you're back. Jay, let me know if you're back. Jay. Uzi, let me know if you're back.
All right, as you can see here, the market is kind of trying to get some legs to go to the upside. We did have a little resistance against our pivot area there. If you were maybe a little aggressive, took the little sale there against the pivot area. I would say right now, support would be back around the 20 area. We get below 18, you want to be out of any longs. If you're thinking this is going to go up, but we're at, like I said earlier, we're pretty much range bound here. We'd like to focus more on the morning hours to trade. First 2-3 hours in the morning, I think, gives us good bang for our money. Obviously, today things are a little bit slow. We don't like to trade the afternoon hours. We have our charts up all day, and if there's some business or something like that might happen at the end of the day, we'll be around. But we're focused more on the morning hours where we give the uh, the levels, and then if there's volatility and some action, obviously we're here a lot longer. But as you can see here, we're pretty much dove in our little trading range that we've been at for a few hours now, going back to the early morning hours. So not much going on today. But like I said, if you wanted to be long, the support would be like a 20. Anything below 18, you want to be out of any longs. We did get up to our pivot there. It was a nice little rotation off of it. Next level outside resistance is the 31. But like I said, it's Friday, and they sucked out a lot of the volatility already. So I don't know if much is going to happen the rest of the day. Any questions? Please feel free to ask. All right, you have a good weekend there too, there, Mark. Enjoy your sun. Obviously, it's not my son, as SUN. You know I don't like winter sports. You think I'm going to be standing outside more than I have to build you a snowman? Send you a picture. Why don't you tell Ava to come over? Ava and Sophia, let them come over and build their own snowman. I can watch them from the. I'll make sure they don't run on the street. They can come and hang out, build their own snowman outside. I'm sure they would love it.
Hey, Casey, you're all set. Appreciate it. Thank you very much. Hey, Uzi, you around? Uzi, let me know back in chat. Hey, quick shout out to Uzi. Uzi, you back? Let me know in chat, Uzi. Hey, Dove, let me know if you're back, Dove.